And we are live. Welcome, everyone. This is your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. First of all, this channel is proudly partnered with the What the Funk shop. Please check out their store for all sorts of products. They have dice, miniatures, game master screens, home decorations, and many other things. You will find the link in the description and in the pinned comment. And make sure that you use my code for a special discount. Let's wait for a minute to see if some more people arrive. I'm very excited because I'm going to talk about one of my favorite horror role-playing games. It has a very unique touch to it, a certain coziness, if you will, within the ghastly situations. Mhm. Let's wait 30 seconds. All right. Of course, we are talking about Vaesen. Let me check the sound of the video so to make sure that everything is fine. We are talking about Vaesen. Okay, yes, sound is pretty good. So Vaesen is a tabletop RPG of Nordic horror. And as you can see, wow, the light is becoming too bright. There we go. As you can see, I'm using the green filter to further enhance the otherworldliness of Vaesen. There is a lot of green in this book. Let's read this part. Hmm. In dark forests and forlorn mountains, by black lakes and hidden groves, at your footstep in the shadows, something stirs, strange beings, twisted creatures, lurking at the edge of vision, watching, waiting, unseen by most, but not by you. You see them for what they really are. They are Vaesen. And what exactly are Vaesen? We will talk about that in a few moments. First, the quality of this beautiful book. Without a doubt, it is the most beautiful book that I own when it comes to Free League publishing role-playing games. The cover feels almost like fabric, like a piece of cloth. The texture is cloth-like. It's super sturdy. Just listen. It sounds as if you are knocking on a solid wooden door. The images, the text, it's all so beautiful. It looks like an ancient grimoire, almost. The quality of the paper is good. This is sturdy paper, sturdy normal paper. Mm, let me see if I can show you some of the images. I will be showing you various illustrations and images. The paper, it is not semi-glossy, it is normal paper, but very sturdy. That paper that almost feels like cardboard. And this is a hefty tome. Everything that you need to play Vaesen is here. It's more than 229 pages long. Everything is well written, organized, and explained, although there are some caveats when it comes to the roleplay explanations. We will get into that in a few moments. Now, suffice to say, the quality is really good, the physical quality. And look at this symbol. Um, Oh, it's going to be, well, there we go. There we go. So the book really really beautiful, great illustrations, great graphic design. What a beautiful role-playing game book. And what is this about? Let's start with the introduction. Wow, take a look at this. It's horror, but it's a very enchanting horror. The introduction has some good parts. Has a very positive introduction to tabletop RPGs as an example, but they drop the ball at the end. So you have this example of the game master and the players. They are in character, the game master describing the situation, the players describing the actions of their player characters. Perfect. But at the end, the game master, what do you do? The game master and the players do not exist in the game world. They do not exist in the fiction. The game master doesn't need to ask questions to the players. The players don't need to ask questions to the game masters. The game master, they only they have to handle things through roleplay because it is the fiction. You're playing a role and you're playing a game. You're not having a conversation about your characters. You're experiencing the game world as your characters. You're not telling stories about your characters. You're experiencing the game world as your characters. And they ruined that introduction to roleplay because of the what do you do, sadly. Very, very disappointing. In Vaesen, this happens in the 19th century. Scandinavia is changed by industrialization. And it is perhaps because of these changes, the wars, the revolutions, that the ancient forces of the wilderness have started to awaken. They were there before, but now there is a certain chaotic element to them, an unruliness, a disturbance. You play as characters, as normal humans, but they have the capacity of seeing these strange beings. The Vasen is a general term, a general concept, a broad category that applies to all sorts of ethereal, otherworldly creatures. We are talking about ghosts, some demonic entities, trolls, fairies. The Vaesen concept or terminology applies to all of them. Some of them are hostile, some of them not so much. Perhaps you only need to come to terms with them, you need to talk to them to see if an agreement is reached. Nonetheless, you are brave investigators with the capacity of seeing these entities. Now, here they give you an explanation that you develop this second sight, this spiritual sight, because of a trauma, because of psychological interference. Let's put it like that. But I think it will also be a great idea to handle it genetically speaking. For example, maybe there are characters that are of the Rh negative bloodline, blood type. It is well known that those of Rh negative, they are psychically enhanced when compared to others. So I think that's another good way of handling it. This book is very well explained when it comes to how to use it, how to navigate it. And sadly, the author of this game, Niels Hintz, I have talked about his work. The Walking Dead role-playing game. Horrible roleplay explanations. But it is obvious that Niels saw my video because when it comes to the electric state up there, he improves the roleplay explanations exactly how I described those improvements, how I suggested those improvements to be made. Hey, where are my thanks, Niels? I was the only one of all of the reviewers. I was the only one. At the time of this video, I am still the only one. When it comes to the Walking Dead universe RPG reviews, that I mentioned the lackluster roleplay explanations. And sadly here, they are repeated because this came out before the Walking Dead universe RPG. Role-playing games are a form of collaborative storytelling. No, 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 no. This is not Raven. This is not Steam-forged Riders. Here. This is not Children of the Fall. This is not the Hardy Boys. This is not a storytelling RPG hybrid experience. You're not telling stories about your characters. You're not saying, oh, the investigator went into the creepy village and then he talked to the various people. He found out the location of the strange creature living under the bridge. No. The game master describes the situation. You stand before an ancient looking hut, almost falling apart, sections of it covered in moss and ivy, with two broken windows that are flanking a single wooden door at the center. And the player describes his or her action. I approach the wooden door and knock on it and say, "Is there anybody home?" So yes, sadly the roleplay explanations in the introduction of Vaesen, not very good. But like I said, this is before Niels, the author, saw my video, my review of the Walking Dead universe. He has made those corrections in the electric state, although there are still some areas that require polish. And what is it that makes Vaesen stand apart from other horror role-playing games? This features the Mythic North. This is Nordic role-playing. This is the 1800s. Specifically in Uppsala. It takes place in the city of Uppsala. Humans are adapting to the changes brought upon them because of the industrialization, the wars, the radical changes, and they are trying to interact with the forces of the Vaesen that, before the Industrial Revolution, they lay somewhat dormant. Many people are not used to this interaction. Most cannot even see them. They are blind to the forces of the Vaesen. They cannot see trolls, they cannot see ghosts, they cannot see fairies, they cannot see many things. But you play as someone that, for one reason or another, has developed the second sight. Or, like I said, maybe it was a genetic trait, and you can see those invisible entities. So, you're acting as a mediator, as someone that helps people that are being hunted or pestered or annoyed by the presence of the Vaesen. Sometimes they are in great danger depending on the intentions of the entity. Sometimes the person is suffering extreme bad luck, perhaps poor health, perhaps poverty, all because of the Vaesen. Or maybe the Vaesen is just taking like direct action, attacking the person or the group of people directly. So you need to either defeat the Vaesen or help the people come to some sort of an agreement with the Vaesen. Let me change the music to a more creepy music. Graveyard. In the tabletop RPG of Vaesen, you are a group of members of a mysterious lodge. a secret society known as the Society. The Society has headquarters, an ancient castle. You have an entire castle for yourself in Uppsala, where science and fairy tales collide. The group of adventurers, or investigators rather, they not only expand and clean and repair the various areas of this castle, they also explore the mysteries of this society's castle. Many of the greater mysteries of the entire campaign, and of course I am avoiding spoilers, will be discovered by investigating the various rooms of the castle. So it is very fascinating, don't you think? Your safe haven, your safe house, your safe castle, rather. It is also a dangerous, potentially dangerous adventure site. It's like sleeping with the unknown, eating and resting and drinking in a place of mysteries. Various individuals will come to you for aid. They will know of your prowess in unraveling the mysteries of the Vaesen, of the supernatural. Take a look at this image. That's an example of a group of investigators. You belong to various professions and trades. It is much better to have a group with all sorts of skill sets. You never know what you could encounter during your adventures. Maybe you want to play as the academic or the doctor. We have the academic, the doctor. The doctor looks scary. It doesn't look like she's properly cleaning her tools. Could just be me, right? Who knows? You could be a hunter or an occultist. Hunter or occultist. Hunter, occultist. You could be an officer or a priest. Officer and priest. Perhaps a private detective, like Sherlock Holmes. Private detective or a servant. Private detective. Servant. A vagabond or a writer. Vagabond, writer. All of these different character professions, they have their motivations, their traumas, dark secrets, and relationships. You can, of course, come up with your own traumas, relationships, motivations, etc. But here you have examples. You have like a main attribute for each one. For example, in the case of the servant, your main attribute is physique, because you're working all day. But in the case of the private detective, your main attribute is logic. You have main skills as well. And you have talents. We will talk about talents in a few moments. And you start with equipment. In the case of the private detective, you start with a magnifying glass or lockpicks, a revolver, a knuckle duster, or binoculars. There are some choices on equipment. And how do you play this? What do you need to play Vaesen? You only need six-sided dice. Typical skill plus attribute dice pool. You add your value of your attribute to your skill, make the roll the dice, and each die that comes out as a 6, it's a success. Otherwise, it's a failure. Usually, you only need one success. But in other moments, let me check the sound. A moment, please. The sound is good. In other cases, the challenge could be a bit more difficult. Perhaps you need 2 successes, perhaps 3. If you have played Dragonbane, you're going to immediately understand how to play Vaesen. Even though Dragonbane uses polyhedral dice, you can also push your rolls, and for example, if you fail your roll, you can push it to roll again, but then you gain a condition. These conditions are negative. Let me show you the conditions. It could be a physical condition, it could be a mental condition. You could be exhausted, battered, wounded, angry, frightened, hopeless. When you acquire all of the conditions, your character is in danger of dying. Perhaps you are unconscious. Perhaps you are bleeding out. Perhaps your mind shattered and you are left a drooling idiot. Unless you have assistance soon, or some other miraculous circumstance occurs, your character is pretty much a goner. Because of the simplicity of the dice pool system, you can handle contested rolls, seeing who rolled the most successes. That determines the winner. You can also help each other. Other player characters can increase your chance of passing a skill test by offering to help with whatever they are attempting to do. The Game Master decides whether you really do benefit from their actions. You gain a +1 to your skill test for every person helping you, to a maximum of +3. You carry out everything in the game by making these dice pool rolls. You add attribute plus skill. Maybe you have an attribute in whatever agility. Agility of 2 and a skill of 2, then it's 4. If you had an agility of 3 and a skill of 2, it would be 5. You roll 5 dice. You need at least one success, a single 6 that you roll, in most situations, in order to succeed. If you exceed what is needed, you can use those extra successes to carry out other effects, such as in the case of agility, which is the ability to run fast, flexible, and leap out of danger. Oh, this is the physique attribute. Sorry, I was confusing agility with an attribute. Agility is a skill, and this has to do with your physique. So if you were to make an agility roll, you would add physique plus agility. If you obtain more successes than needed, maybe now you want to outmaneuver your enemy. You decide to outmaneuver your enemy. Maybe now you move one zone away from your enemy. Perhaps you need to flee, to run away. Perhaps now you perform actions while evading the enemy. For example, setting fire to things in the room. You run around the room, setting fire. Maybe the entity is vulnerable to fire. Maybe there is the human enemy, and he is chasing you, and you set fire to create a distraction, a commotion. So every single skill, for example, ranged combat that has to do with precision, investigation related to logic, manipulation related to empathy, it's always attribute plus skill. Make your roll. If you gain one success in most situations, you accomplish the task. If you obtain more successes than needed, then you accomplish the task in even greater ways with additional actions or even more positive circumstances. What about talents? In addition to skills, you have certain tricks and traits that could come in handy. These are talents, such as bookworm. You gain +2 to learning when looking for clues in books or libraries. Maybe conjuring tricks. You can use stealth instead of manipulation when performing conjuring tricks to influence people. Perhaps battle experience. You gain a +2 to medicine when treating a physical critical injury. Let's talk about some of that. A moment, please, while I get to the section. The table of contents is also really good. Conflict and injuries. Page 71. After violent or frightening encounters, you and your friends may need to heal your conditions. When you have sustained a critical injury that might either kill you or become chronic, someone must treat you with medicine or inspiration before the time limit expires. This usually comes from combat, but also learning various terrifying truths about the world and the Vaesen. They could inflict mental damage upon you. Taking damage causes you to suffer conditions. The type of damage, mental or physical, determines the type of condition that afflicts you. In combat, the weapon's damage value indicates how many conditions you get. When you have checked off all physical or mental conditions and suffer one of the same type, you become broken. This means that you are incapacitated and have sustained a critical injury that threatens to kill you or traumatizes you so badly that you may never recover. This means that every time you get critically injured, you need to make a roll. Maybe you end up with damaged throats, perhaps dislodged teeth, maybe a torn ear, perhaps a cracked skull. Some of those wounds could be fatal, and you have a time limit to repair the injury, to heal the character. You have various effects applying penalties to your attributes, to manipulation, to range combat, to skills, to force, to learning, rather negative effects that are applied to your skills. You also have mental critical injuries, such as feelings of worthlessness, stressed, shaken, abandoned, crushed, detached, returning to your childhood. All of these defects are explained, but they are very easy to apply in the game. It's just a penalty to a particular skill. Although I think it's also important to consider the repercussions within the fiction, how people are going to treat you now that you are suffering a particular condition. You can, of course, suffer various magical and non-magical effects, hazards, fear, falling off from great heights. It is all explained here. You have a complete list of equipment and an exhaustive section on the headquarters of the society and the history of the mysterious society, the organization you belong to. And this is your organization. This is not like you're part of a greater group. No, you are reviving an organization that was thought to be dead. And now you are the key members, the inner circle. You have, let me show you this beautiful image. You have complete information on the Mythic North and Uppsala. Another incredible map. Free League Publishing is excellent when it comes to maps in their games. Incredible. All of the various sections of the city, the districts, they are detailed here. All of them adventure seats. And of course, we have a chapter covering the Vaesen. Creatures, if not of the supernatural, at least of the otherworldly. They inhabit the wild places of the world. And now they are stepping into urban areas. It is a response to the excessive industrialization, the wars, the revolutions. All of these creatures, in most situations, they could be almost impossible to defeat. These strange beings, they have powers beyond human comprehension. You need to find out more about them. The game loop. Oh, let me block some of that because there could be spoilers. The game loop revolves around the investigators looking for more information about a particular creature, making preparations, acquiring items that they suspect could be helpful in investigating a particular mystery. Then they go to their destination, and they carry out further interrogations, explorations, everything that rhymes with Asians that concerns the mystery within the adventure site, the village, the forest, the mountain, the city, wherever you are needed. You talk to the non-player characters. You go to the various scenes of the crime. You gather clues. And you attempt to obtain enough information to defeat the entity, or at least come to an understanding with it. Perhaps the entity is not that hostile, but something was disturbed. The creature was not properly respected. Wow. Take a look at this. Creepy. You can never have too many creepy little girls in horror fiction. So it's up to the investigators if they wish to defeat the entities or negotiate with them. Each of these different creatures are associated with rituals, conflicts that can easily be employed to insert them in any scenario or adventure. But I have to say, these entities are unpredictable and very powerful. You see here, trying to block the spoilers. It might be better to always look for a peaceful solution, but if not, you will have to fight them. And it usually involves complex rituals, the finding of certain artifacts, the creation of various talismans, the understanding of amulets, the use of subtle energies. It's not going to be easy. Not only do you have an excellent section telling you how to design your own mysteries and campaigns, you also have a scenario called the Dance of Dreams. Perfect introductory scenario, giving you a taste of many things to come in many Vaesen adventures. And that's pretty much the entire book of Vaesen. Beautiful, exquisite, beautiful book. The quality, incredible. But what do I think about the content? And I've covered, I've done various reviews on Vaesen. I should put the playlist in the description of this video. In about 10 minutes after this video is over, more or less, I'm going to place a playlist in the description where you can, in fact, let me do that real quick. Better take care of that, because what if someone is watching this video and oh, I want to check that out. Playlist. Okay, Vaesen. Added to Vaesen reviews. Yes. But we also need to find the playlist, of course, to put the link. Vaesen playlist. Excellent, here it is. Vaesen reviews. If you would like a more detailed explanation, I'm going to put the link to the playlist. Check out my other Vaesen reviews here. There we go. So if you want more Vaesen goodness, take a look at the description of this video. But what do I think about Vaesen? For starters, the physical book, you need to have this. You need to own this. This is incredibly beautiful. Probably the most beautiful book. Well, the Forgotten Lands role-playing game from Free League Publishing as well. I was going to say the most beautiful book from Free League Publishing. But those books are also really good. The only thing that I don't like about those books is that the paint comes off so easily. But this book surpasses that. It's going to last you so long. You could drop this book and it would still hold. Don't do it though. Don't do it, but really good. The quality of the paper, the illustrations, everything. So beautiful. That subtle folklore horror is communicated perfectly through the artwork. But the game itself, the mechanics are easy. Dice pool system, attribute plus skill. Did you fail your roll? Push your roll at the expense of gaining a negative condition. The combat is handled just like a skill check or skill test. When you take damage, you suffer conditions depending on the nature of the attack. If you suffer too many conditions, you suffer a critical wound and you're probably in danger of dying. You have this amazing, beautiful castle. Did I show you the castle for the society? Let me get to that section. Page 79. Look at it. This is your castle. And there are many rooms that need to be explored. and you can how you call it, refurnish the rooms, change them, adapt them to your needs. Both the place that could be considered a safe place and the adventure sites have mysteries to explore. There is no end to the mysteries of Vaesen. You are carrying out your investigations outside of the castle, and when you return to the castle to rest, you can continue your exploration of the castle. You have an entire list of equipment and vehicles and services that are expected of the 1800s. For example, where is the equipment? But that could be considered a small criticism. The table of contents doesn't lead you directly to the equipment. Here it is, 73, 74. 73. Yes, crowbars, light armor, medium armor. Armor is handled in a generic way. You don't have specific suits of armor. It's all light or medium or heavy. But you do have specifics on crowbars, lockpicks, binoculars, hunting traps, tinder boxes, lamps, compasses, weapons such as the sledgehammer, rapier, sabers, axes, bayonets, spears, rifles, pistols, revolvers, even cannons. My highest recommendation. One of the best horror games of all time. Especially because of the sense of exploring the unknown, both at home and in other places. Because the castle, your headquarters, your safe castle, it is also a source of adventures and mysteries. But you are also going to be going on a journey to confront all sorts of weird entities. I cannot recommend this game enough. Definitely get Vaesen. Ah, in fact, that's another good point. I'm going to place the link. The physical book can be obtained in so many different places. You will never. It is currently available in Amazon, I think. Let me look real quick, and Vaesen. Vaesen. Let me search for it. Vaesen. Yeah, there it is in Amazon. Or you can get it from Free League Publishing as well. So I'm going to put the necessary links. Free League Publishing. Awesome. Let me place the link. You can get it from Free League Publishing in Rifle RPG. Get it here. I place the link and use the affiliate, of course, the affiliate code. And Free League, what's the address for Free League? What? Free League Publishing, where are you? Why don't they include the web address? Free League Publishing, what the hell? A moment, please. Free League, where are you? Free League Publishing. Where are you, Free League? Free League, Free League, Free League. I guess I'll have to find it later. So weird, right? They should have their address in their books. Why wouldn't they do that? Ah, maybe if I click here. Free League Publishing. Yes. No. It takes you. No. Website. We're going to the Free League website. There we go. Let's set this to favorite. All right, Free League Publishing. I am adding that to the details. Ta-da! Here we go. So yes, get Vaesen. It's incredible. Horror in the 1800s. Adventure with your friends. Build your castle and explore the other rooms. Modify the rooms that you have explored and investigate the other rooms that are still hidden away. Secret passages, basements, attics within the castle. Thank you for watching this live stream. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the super thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description, the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. And remember, master roleplay and you will master the game. Once again, thank you all. Have a great rest of your evening, day, wherever you are. See you later.